Brian Wright, BrianWright732.com, fitin.com, PHITIN.com. Today it's Daily B98. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the price of entry into entrepreneurship. Can you handle it? I can't find the stop button. Hey, it's Brian. I wrote an article yesterday. I've got a little bit of traction on it, and I wanted to expound on it a little more because some people were saying it's a little harsh with tough crap. Here's the deal. The price of entry into being a business owner is work, and it's current work. It's understanding what year you're in. It's understanding what mediums your consumer plays around with, and it's staying current. So purity is not an excuse to not do business, basically. So you get a lot of people that are entrepreneurs that they start out because they're good at their craft. So I'm going to focus on martial arts and fitness today because that's the one I have the most experience with on this, not wanting to advance thing. I do have it in retail too, but I'm going to focus on martial arts and fitness because I just want to. So here's the deal. You're a black belt and whatever, right? So you say, I'm good. People want to learn what I've got, so I'm going to open up a business. So you open up a school. By the way, I have my Superman shirt on, and it's Monday, so this is going to be an awesome week. All right, so back to the topic. I'm a black belt. I'm going to say jiu-jitsu. I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. I've won things. I've lost things, but I've got a good name. I've got a great belt. I'm part of a nice association, so I open up a school. Now, I expect people to come to me because I'm a black belt. I'm good at what I do, but today's marketplace is completely different than like when I started. In 1998, I opened up my first school, and I got an ad in the Yellow Pages, and then people started to call me. It was really that simple. Yellow Pages, local paper, Chamber of Commerce, hand out flyers at the supermarket, grow your business. Super easy. Now you try and, hand out flyers to the supermarket and everybody's got their head down on their phone and they're like, what the fuck do you want? Get out of my way. You can't go into the world like that like you used to the same effect. The phone book is non-existent. Today it's all about the internet. So I go and I watch all these people that are opening up businesses or they've been in business a long time and they're complaining that they can't get it going. But the other thing they complain about is that they don't want to be marketers of today. They don't want to do the work. So the price of entry into entrepreneurship is effort, and it's proper effort. If you take specific actions, you get specific results. Just moving is not enough. You've got to know where your customer hangs out. You have to know what they're used to seeing where they hang out, and that's what you use to grab their attention. And then you give them your information. And then you answer some questions about problems they've got and how you could solve it for them, and boom, you've got a potential customer. So when you tell me that, you got into business so you can teach classes, not so you can take pictures with your cell phone and videos and all that stuff, and you don't like Instagram, you don't like Facebook and YouTube and Snapchat and Twitter and all these things, well, tough. That's the price of being a business person in the modern age today. 10 years from now, you're going to be complaining about something else, or you're going to be working for someone else because you just don't have what it takes. You don't have the discipline, the energy, the flexibility, or the drive to run your own business. You could be the best instructor on the planet, but if you can't get people in the door, you're actually not an instructor at that point. You're just a really good practitioner of your art. To be an instructor, you have to have students. To be a successful instructor, you have to have a lot of students that do really well. And if you want to be a business owner, you've got to make more money than you're spending. And if you don't have people coming through the door, and if you're not interacting with your community, you don't have a business. So if you really want to do this, you need to stop complaining about the way things are. You need to stop complaining that you have to take photos, that you got to do the whole selfie thing in the middle of class, or you got to do the group photo after class when you have a good group of people, or that you have to log into different accounts and switch things at times and whatever. This is the cost. The cost of doing business is not money. The cost of doing business is time, it's energy, it's effort. So if you want to be freaking Superman in your community for what you do, you got to get involved. You want young people, you've got to go where they are, and that's in their phones. You want middle-aged people, you got to go where they are. That's in their phones. You want to go towards seniors and older communities, you got to go where they are. It's in their phones. I don't know anyone not in their phone. I don't. My mom, she turned 67 today. 2 years ago, she refused to open up text messages. Now, I barely talk to her. I just get texts. It's just the nature of the beast. This technology is taking over. You've got to get with it. So stop complaining about it. Now, on the other end of it, if you're doing all the technology thing and your business isn't growing, then you do have to get out in the world and you have to come up with new tactics. You are your brand 24/7. You're standing in line at Starbucks and you overhear someone, talk about fitness. Bam, here's my card. I own a gym. How you doing? I hate to pry. I overheard you're having a problem. I'm really good at that. If you want to check me out, I'm not being creepy, dude. Here's my card. Whatever. Learn how to rap with people. Learn how to, break down some of the barriers that may make you seem like the creepy dude and become like the entrepreneur in the room. I do it at Starbucks. I do it at Wegmans, which is our local food store. If you're not from my local area, Wegmans is just a name to you, but that is like the food store in my town. It's actually a really great place. But think about it. Your gas station attendant and your checkout clerk see more people in a given day than probably anybody else in your town. So when you go get gas, you should shoot the shit with the guy who's pumping it. When you are checking out, you should talk to the girl or guy or person that's checking you out so that you create strategic relationships. When you go to the 7-Eleven and get a cup of coffee, if you're doing it consistently, make sure the guy knows why you need the energy. You've got to have relationships everywhere so people start to get to know you. And you don't need to be world famous for a local business, but you have to have the feel of being world famous in your town. You have to be the rock star within 5 miles of your location if you want to make the money, if you want to make the consistency, if you actually want to be a business owner. Because you can be good at your craft, which makes you an artist, but you got to make more money than you're spending to be a professional business person. That's just the nature of the beast. So if you're going to make the commitment to sign on a lease, to risk your credit, to put your future in your own hands, you've got to do the right work. You got to stop coming up with excuses. I just want to teach jujitsu. Then go and fucking hire people to do the rest of it if you're so liquid. But if you're like the majority of people that open a school, you're underfunded, so you don't have the big ass expense account to hire people to do everything. So if you really don't want to do this, this is the next part. I'm going to wrap with this. So you don't like all this shit I just said. You're like, I really don't want to be a marketer. I want to be a martial artist, whatever. Well, here's the deal. If you do this and you do it well for a certain amount of time and you generate enough capital, then you'll be able to hire other people to do it. So the quicker you get with the program, the quicker you can get other people to do the crap you don't like to do. And then you'll be in that position where you feel like more pure because you're just doing your craft and all that crap. But really, you're being a business person because you're spending 80% of your day doing what you do best, and the rest of it, you're interacting with the people that are doing the other crap for you, and you're good. So, step 1, open up your business, do the right work, make more money than you're spending, develop a nest egg enough so you can hire people to take over the stuff you don't want to do. If you're not willing to go through this process, you really don't deserve to have a business, and you're risking way too much to try and open up a business. You fail and you sign on the dotted line on that lease, unless you sign it as an LLC. And if you're one of the people that doesn't want to do the work, you probably don't realize how to sign a lease. So you probably signed it personally, and you probably signed a 3 to 5 year lease with a heavy price tag. And now you're running the risk of getting sued by your landlord. But if you were doing good business, you would have signed as an LLC. And then if it doesn't work out, then you just kill your company. You don't have to worry about you personally. But again, that's business. You got to know these things. If you don't know these things, you're going to leave yourself wide open. So, all right, I'm rambling on and on and on. It's Monday. My kid didn't sleep last night. All of you that have young children, you probably understand. I'm kind of faking it right now because I've got a large coffee in me and about 2.5 hours worth of sleep. So I'm going to go back to doing what I do, which is marketing my business in the morning and then teaching my classes and then marketing again and then teaching my classes and then marketing again, because you've got to stay connected. You've got to stay committed to the path. That's just the way it goes. All right? You got to do it, guys. Got to pull those phones out, and you got to take the photos, and you got to take the videos, and you got to figure out, what are the best hashtags and what are the best blurbs. And then you do have to go out in the world, and you have to meet the right people, and you've got to present yourself in the right way, and you got to do all that crap. All right? So go do business. Stop trying to fake it. Stop trying to think you're pure. You can be an artist, but you have to be a business person if you want to make a life off your art.